Fahrenheit 451. I saw this movie since it was directed by Truffaut, and it's also based off a very popular novel, so I thought that if the book was good, this is probably good too. I did like the movie, but I have very little to say because I didn't formulate much of an opinion on it. The actors all do sweet jobs, the direction is really good, and I enjoy the general premise. However, I was led to believe that the state that the film is set in is a totalitarian state, but it just doesn't strike that to me. It appears to me as more as just a state that just hates books. I wish I could say more about it. It's a good movie, but it's nothing that I would want to see again. I'd give Fahrenheit 451 a 7 out of 10. Delicatessen. This has got to be one of the most diverse movies I've ever seen genre-wise. IMDb describes it as a black comedy and fantasy, but it isn't that exclusively. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world, making it a science fiction. The dark humor makes it a comedy. There are certainly aspects of fantasy in there. The premise for the story itself is quite creepy, making it kind of a horror film. There's some romance in there, a few musical aspects, and given how surreal and original the movie is, it really strikes me as an art house film as well. Thinking about this diversity just makes your head explode. This is a very entertaining movie. The actors all deliver very good performances, but what appeals to me more is the direction and writing. Both of those things were done beautifully. Jean-Pierre Jeunet is clearly a very talented filmmaker when you take a look at this movie. The cinematography is gorgeous and always complements the dark but occasionally enlightening mood that the film is going for. At times the movie got slightly slow, but it didn't worry me too much. This movie would not be for everyone, given how unusual it can be, but I liked it a lot simply for its beauty and originality. I give Delicatessen an 8 out of 10. Frida. Nothing too much to say about this one. This is the first film directed by Julie Taymor that I've seen, and well, it was good. The title character is, to say the least, very interesting and is involved in a compelling story. The film basically chronicles her life as a painter, her rocky relationship with her husband, as well as her entanglements with socialism. One of the parts of the story which I found to be very engaging was Frida's encounter with Leon Trotsky right before his assassination. I really didn't expect to see one of my favorite historical figures of all time make an appearance in this movie. It was really surprising. The actors all do excellent jobs too. Overall, it's not something I'd recommend enormously, but it is a good piece of entertainment, so check it out. I give Frida a 7.5 out of 10. The Hunger Games. I'm writing this response to the film a few days late, so my opinion may not be that fresh, but here we go. I did think that this was a great action movie, but by the end, I was left wondering why this accumulated so much hype. The film is set in a dystopian future where the state annually selects a group of teens to fight to the death. It's a great premise, and one of my favorite movies of all time, Battle Royale, is similar to it. Given the Hollywood regulations, I really felt that this movie was being held back from reaching its full potential. It sacrifices this potential in exchange for a decent love story, less violence, and build-up in the first hour which I feel does not pay off. Jennifer Lawrence delivers an excellent performance as Katniss Everdeen, and you really get attached to her character. And I also liked Woody Harrelson quite a lot. The action scenes are also very well done, but I would have liked better suspense during the last hour of the movie. Overall, The Hunger Games is a really good action movie, maybe even a great one that would definitely appeal to the younger audiences, but I don't think many people outside of that group would look at this movie as some great achievement that others have made it out to be. It's a great movie, but I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece like a lot of people claim. I give The Hunger Games an 8 out of 10. Open Water. I actually didn't have high expectations for this, but I was pleasantly surprised. I think I'll have to discuss the flaws first. The leads were pretty forgettable, the movie can appear uneventful, and the cinematography leaves you desiring a bit more. But there are some great positives as well. The atmosphere and the suspense is absolutely brilliant, and both of these things combined make you feel like you were isolated out in the middle of the ocean with this couple. It's got to be the best thing about this movie. Feeling involved is pretty much what you want to achieve when making these kinds of movies, and this one did it very well. As for the ending, I thought it was very appropriate, making the story appear more like what would happen in reality. This movie is far from perfect, but it would make sense why somebody would dislike it, but hell, I enjoyed it a lot. I give Open Water an 8 out of 10. The Room. Finally, I got a chance to watch what is considered to be one of the worst films of all time. What did I think? It really is as bad as they say, but unlike most bad movies, this one is so bad that it is hilarious, and I loved watching it just to make fun of it. For starters, the acting is beyond horrific. Although most people talk about Tommy Wiseau, everybody in the movie is just bad. Wiseau is the most notable though. You can't decipher what accent he's talking in. His own voice is dubbed over all the time, and hearing him talk just sounds ridiculous. The story is essentially about a banker named Johnny who is getting married to a young woman named Lisa who starts cheating on him with his best friend Mark. The story involves several side plots which get introduced and are never completed, or let alone they don't even go anywhere, including one involving the character Denny and a drug dealer, Lisa's mother's cancer, and a random couple who keep having sex in Johnny's house. The dialogue is laughable, to say the least. Some of it is painfully cliche, whilst other examples are just random and leave you confused. I'm sure this movie sounds awful to you, because it is, but it is an incredibly enjoyable bad movie. I think it would be best enjoyed if you sit down with a few friends and just pick out the mistakes together and make fun of the badness. I seriously recommend this movie very highly. You may never see a movie this bad that is so good at the same time. I give The Room, as far as entertainment goes mind you, an 8 out of 10. So funny. Animal Kingdom. I had pretty good expectations for this movie, and interestingly, they were exceeded quite a lot. I was very surprised by this crime film. The film is about a 17-year-old boy who gets caught up in the activities of his grandmother and uncles, who happen to be a leading crime family in Melbourne. I really like the characters a lot in this movie. One of the uncles, in my opinion, is actually quite a scary figure. I thought he really brought something great to the table in this movie. Another positive is the cinematography. I found this film to be very beautifully shot. It captures the Australian urban scenery very well, but also assists it in achieving its relatively dark tone. The story is very well written. I really do sympathise with the main character after seeing his experiences, and seeing how this family operates. It really got me wondering how could there really be people out there who are like this. It's alerting, to say the least. Another thing I loved was the ending. Good God, was it good. I did feel that the James Freshville's, I think that's how you pronounce it, his performance was a bit flat, but outside of that one flaw, this is an excellent crime film and one of the best movies from Australia that I've seen. I give Animal Kingdom an 8.5 out of 10. The Spy Who Loved Me. The 10th James Bond film and the third to star Roger Moore. What did I think of it? This is a great James Bond film. Although I haven't seen all of Roger Moore's Bond films, I could easily say it's the best that I've seen from him so far, and I really think that's not going to change. I thought Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun had too many campy elements, but they were absent in this film. This one actually felt like James Bond to me. The story is very engaging, even somewhat epic, which I thought was cool. Roger Moore delivered a very good performance as Bond, by far his best acting so far. The leading girl in this movie was pretty good too. I did like the lead villain quite a lot too, but I thought that the bad guy with the metal teeth, Jaws, was a bit silly, which is a bit of a downside for the movie. The action scenes are all very well done, maybe even the best I've seen from the series so far, and one thing I really want to comment on is the cinematography. By far the best imagery I've seen in a Bond movie was in this one. The movie isn't quite as good as some of the Connery films, but I think it's much better than the previous few Bond films. This is a great action movie and I recommend it very highly. I give The Spy Who Loved Me an 8 out of 10. Moonraker. The 11th James Bond movie and the 4th to star Roger Moore. I was very let down by this movie. Although it does have its moments, in particular an excellent opening scene which was very well done, the film is filled with lots of unfunny jokes and many stupid moments. One of these notable stupid moments is the scene where Jaws experiences love at first sight. I just thought that was ridiculous. Also, slight spoiler, James Bond is sent into space, and I think the ludicrousness of that really speaks for itself. Another problem is that the main villain is a total bore. Although Live and Let Die I felt had forgettable villains, all the others were great in that regard, but this one really faltered in my opinion. At times, the movie also came off as unintentionally funny, which really hurt it. To give it credit though, it does have some very good action scenes and Roger Moore delivers a great performance, but the biggest problem with this movie is that it's too silly and unmemorable. Moonraker is an okay movie at best, 6 out of 10 from me. Serpico. I thought that this movie was great, one of the best police films I've ever seen. Since this is a film directed by Sidney Lumet, you'd expect it to be great, and it actually exceeded my expectations quite a bit. Al Pacino delivers an excellent performance as Officer Frank Serpico. You really grow attached to his character during his struggles to remain loyal to the system, but also deal with all the terrible things affecting both his work and personal life. The other actors all deliver very good performances too. I really have a strong hatred of corrupt police officers, so I could really connect with Serpico, given how much he also hates the corruption around him, and naturally, the movie intends to inform the viewer of this problem. It's an obvious message, but an important one nonetheless. The movie doesn't really focus on a story per se, and is instead just a depiction of Serpico's experiences in the police force, which may alienate some viewers, but it didn't bother me. Another thing I really loved was how the movie begins at the end of the story, and then spends the next 2 hours explaining how things came to be, whilst keeping the audience anticipating that inevitable outcome. Overall, this is an excellent movie. Very well written, directed, acted, and it truly embodies the importance of justice. I give Serpico an 8.5 out of 10. Anyways guys, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye.